People just don't understand how bad this is going to be for your back from a long-term perspective. What's up, guys? This is Dr. Joe Roskowski here, physical therapist at Identity Physical Therapy, and what we're going to be talking about today are back extensions and how these are not only not making your back better, but potentially making them worse from a long-term perspective. Back extensions are by far the most common exercise that get prescribed, especially in the gym setting, for people who are having back pain where it's just like that aching, chronically tight pain. Not necessarily, we're not talking about like sharp pain or things running down the leg, but we're talking specifically about that just chronic aching tightness in their back. And it makes sense why it gets given to so many people, right? Like when you do it, you can feel your back muscles turning on. You can feel that they're getting stronger and more stable. But what we want to understand first is, why do these people have this back pain in the first place? Well, it's for two reasons. Number one, their pelvis is in a certain position. Typically, that position is a forward tip and some type of rotation in the pelvis. Well, if our pelvis gets tipped forward, that's going to cause our back to arch. When that happens, it actually bunches up your low back muscles and makes them tight already. So if you already have back pain and you're in this extended posture, can you imagine if I now do this as an exercise repetitively over and over and over and over again? We're actually perpetuating the issue and making it worse from a long-term perspective. Now, I know what you're gonna say is, when I do them, I feel good. I get up from the ground or I get off the machine, and it's like, okay, I feel stronger. I feel like this doesn't hurt so much anymore. Well, the reason that is because you're getting blood flow to the area. And so when I get blood flow into the area, the muscles get turned on. Temporarily, that's gonna prepare me for my workout, or it's gonna prepare me to go on my walk or something like that. But ultimately, what you'll feel is that once you sit down and come down and everything relaxes, that achiness is right back, because all you did at the time was bring blood flow to the area. So now that blood is going away from your back again, what you did was actually tighten your back more, and what you're gonna feel is, oh, I need to stretch again. So what I wanna do today is just show you the mechanics of that exercise, show you why it's making your back worse and your muscles actually tighter. And then what I want to give you are 2 to 3 takeaways for you to implement right now as a better alternative to start to fix that chronic tightness in your back. So I wanted to take this opportunity to show you actually what's happening in your back when we do these back extensions and why it's causing more pain down the line and in the future. So like I said, most back pain is caused from a pelvis that goes forward and has some type of rotation to it. So if the pelvis goes forward, what that looks like is the same as this. And then our body will naturally compensate because we can't live our life looking down. And so we're going to do that, and you can see that that bunches my shirt up. Same thing is happening at these muscles right here. So if you're watching this video and your back is always tight, most likely where you have that pain is right in here into these little bones, and probably in the sides of one or both like hips here, okay? And so those muscles run all the way here, attached to the top of the pelvis, and then run into the outside of the pelvis. If I'm constantly here, and then I keep cranking on this spot, eventually what you're gonna feel is like your back is just constantly tight. Just to show you what we're talking about here is, when that pelvis goes forward and then we extend back, it's gonna tighten these muscles, but you can see it's also gonna close down the space in the spine. So when we close down that space, technically, yes, we give it more stability, because you can imagine the closer they are together, it gives it more strength essentially in your spine, but it's closing down the space, and when that happens, we're gonna get pain. So go ahead and take a look at what happens to my shirt when I do this press up. You see how it all bunches up right there? Well, guess exactly where you have the tightness in your back, right there. And so if I just repeatedly do this over and over and over again, that is gonna eventually make my back really stiff and really tight. Now, if all your goal is to get a stronger back, then this might be a good option because you are strengthening the muscles. But I question of who told you that your back is weak is causing the back pain. Oftentimes, the assessment process that they went through didn't catch the underlying reason of why your back actually hurts. And so they just said, get stronger, which to me feels like a very surface level answer, not getting to the deep root cause reason of why you have back pain in the first place. So now, knowing what we know, I want to give you better options so that you can immediately get relief in your back. Guys, if this helps you, which it will, please share this and save it. So if the arching is what we're trying to avoid, then the first exercise I'm gonna give you is the complete opposite of that. Now with this exercise, the last thing I want you to do is just round your whole spine, guys. That's not what I'm looking for. If we're gonna think in terms of rounding though, what I will say is if we can keep the rest of the spine neutral and just round the lumbar spine, I'd be okay with that. So what we're gonna do is use a low bench, or you can use a dining room chair at home, and it's going to block the front of our belt and our stomach. So I'm gonna drop down to my knees, and then I'm gonna put my forearms down on these pads. So what you can see is that it doesn't round my whole spine, but really just my lower back. Then from here, I'm gonna take a deep, soft breath in through my nose and take a long breath out through my mouth. When I take that breath in, I should feel a stretch in my low back. If you don't feel a stretch in your low back, it tells me that your stomach isn't blocked enough, so you may have to change the height that you're at. The next thing that we're gonna do is use a wall squat variation because it's safe, it's easy, and it is effective. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a relatively light weight, okay, and we're gonna goblet hold it, which means we're gonna hold it in the front of us. The reason we're gonna hold it in front of us is because it actually allows us to push backward. General rule of thumb, if a weight is in front of you, it's pushing you backwards. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our feet even, but I want them a little more forward than you normally would on a squat. And the reason for this is because we wanna have more weight on our heels to push us back into the wall. We're gonna get a little tuck and round of our lower back, but not our upper or middle back. From here, take this weight, and you are gonna hold this right here. We're gonna try to hold it for really like at least 30 seconds. Ideally, I'd like to go over a minute of just holding this here. And we're gonna do the same breathing that we did on the last exercise. So if you look at the position of this, it's really just a progressed version of what we did on the bench. So now we're gonna try to keep that same form that we had on the wall squat, and we're gonna upgrade it, get off the wall, and we're gonna go for about the same depth. So all your form is gonna stay the same. You're gonna try to stay heavier on your heels, and what we're trying to do is remain a little bit more vertical between our head, our shoulder, and our hips. And what you're gonna notice is I wouldn't normally squat like this if I was really moving weight in the gym, right? But what I'm trying to do is keep my back straight and align my body. So when I get to that sticking point, I'm gonna breathe in, and I'm gonna stand up and breathe out. I'd like to see you go for about 8 to 12 of these, 3 to 4 sets. You should not be getting tightness in your back with that. All right, guys, so just to recap, if you're having that chronically aching and tight lower back, the last thing that we wanna do is a bunch of repetitive exercises that are actually the same reason why you're having that tightness in the first place. What we really want to do is the exact opposite of why it's happening so that we can relieve it and actually start to fix it. And so if you go through those 3 exercises in a nice timely progression, what you should feel is looseness in your back, and you should feel much more mobile. If you went through these exercises and you found them valuable and they helped you, please like this video, share, subscribe, and then anyone who could use this information as well, please let them know about it. Thanks, guys. I can't wait to see you in the next video.